You really got to work out where you're going to be the best asset for your business. I think that's one thing I've really worked on in the last 2 years is where am I best positioned in my business and what brings in the most yield for my business? Where am I best positioned? So I think another thing too is just practice delegation early. I think all the great building companies and well-run ones out there, the leaders are really good delegators. You don't have to do everything yourself. So even if you're small, just practice delegation. I think that's what's going to help you propel along.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Build Insight podcast. Here we go again for round 2 with Adam from Veo Building. Let's go. Just on the rural side of building, we run a business metro and rural, divide and conquer between Darren and myself. I'm up around about an hour out of Melbourne, so it's not probably as far as a drive between places, but it struck a chord there. Like building around a smaller community, it probably in one way is a bit easier. There's still enough work for everybody to go around, and it probably is easier to have a wider known reputation. Whereas in a bigger city in Melbourne, there's obviously a bigger pool of builders, bigger pool of homes, clients, and so forth. We've probably found that a lot of people engaging us in the community, even if they've got a building related question, it can be a little bit harder to nicely say, look, just with the kids or at something like, let's just contact me if you've got something, without being rude, to maintain a good reputation. But I think with it, there's a different feel. Like we've got a project on 900 acres at the moment, and the boys are wrapping up a big project in a city. Our neighbours are cows and sheep on the 900 acres, whereas we've got neighbours complaining with too many work cars in the street at a completion. I know which way I like to go, and usually a lot of the problems you do get building is neighbours and not. It's generally the ones who have built before too that complain the most.
I found that too. Yeah, I really love building rural. I think there's a lot more positives than there are negatives to it. It's great. There is those few things you got to navigate. Like I said, we've been engaged in the community and knowing a lot of people that you're working for prior to starting their jobs. There's those few little things, but all in all, I think there's more positives than negatives.
What would you say? Have you got any tips and tricks for any young players coming through, Adam, that would you do differently on your journey? Any little bits of advice for anyone coming through that's thinking of pulling the building hat on?
Probably the biggest thing that's helped me, outside the obvious of knowing your numbers, like your overheads and all that stuff, I think one thing I didn't do properly is collect data. I think data is the most powerful thing in your business. It drives every decision that you do, whether it's from estimating or taking on the right clients. If you've got data, you can really look at projects objectively instead of subjectively, because you're looking at facts and not driven by emotion. I suppose an example of that would be if you're pricing a project and you got data on labour hours and stuff like that, you're not guessworking it, you're looking at it factual. Yeah, that sort of stuff. I think the other big thing is just really concentrate on your pipeline. I think that's really important. How that fills up, and you talk to different people, they'll tell you different things. Spend so much on marketing or network with architects but I think like a combination of all works pretty well. But the main thing is just having a pipeline that's full. I think having a pipeline, once again, makes you look at projects in a different light. Like you're looking at them from more so facts and not out of necessity. So you're able to make a lot more educated and better decisions for your business. We can get bogged down in the weeds a bit as carpenters turning into builders and thinking you have to be on site, have to be doing this and that, but you really got to work out where you're going to be the best asset for your business. I think that's one thing I've really worked on in the last 2 years is where am I best positioned in my business and what brings in the most yield for my business? Where am I best positioned? So I think another thing too is just practice delegation early. I think all the great building companies and well-run ones out there, the leaders are really good delegators. You don't have to do everything yourself. So even if you're small, just practice delegation. I think that's what's going to help you propel along.
I think that's really important, delegation. I was going to suggest it before you actually brought up the topic, but that's been one of my biggest things I've tried to say to myself over the last 12 months, or maybe even a little bit longer, is the mission I'm on personally is to become the least important person in your business. So learning to delegate and let go. And it is a challenging thing for someone that's never had someone that will step up into a leadership role, have that letting go and not micromanaging someone and giving the opportunity. People make mistakes. It's a part of life. It happens. Just backtracking, Adam, to collecting your data. What systems, what processes have you got? How are you actually tracking it?
Yeah, so I've got a really good system set up now, like Dean was talking about earlier, through construction program called WonderBuild. So I think the issue with a lot of these softwares and builders, they're only probably using 30% of the potential of them a lot of the time. They're great tools, and if they're implemented correctly, it really can automate and speed up a lot of your data entry and a lot of that admin stuff inside your company. So yeah, I use WonderBuild, and I've got a really good system there with two-way integration with DEXT and Xero. It's very zero touch. There's a lot of the data comes into WonderBuild, and it doesn't take long to allocate. So I can really look at projects at any point in time and know exactly where they're sitting cost-wise, where the money's going, where the hours are going, and makes you be able to make educated decisions.
Yep.
I think the other part to that is it's like the information loop. A lot of people might have data, but they don't know how to store it properly and how to refer back to it. So really having a good system to be able to touch back on that data and use it for future projects and to make decisions in your business.
So Adam, let's backtrack over that, mate. If people are listening, so WonderBuild is a building software management program that we're integrating as well. We found exactly what you said with the other software we were using. If it's not going to be simple and it's not going to give the information you need, then you need to find something that's maybe more suitable. But that's what generally the builder will live in, is within that software. And then you've got your Xero, which is your accounting software most people would have heard of. And that's depending on what you set up with the business-wise, whether it's just your accountant, whether you've got a pay lady or a bookkeeper. That's generally where they'll spend a lot of time in generating your reports for your profit and losses, your pays, or your payables and bills, etc. The other one there, DEXT, maybe some people don't know too much about what that is, mate. Do you want to let people know how you're using that, incorporating that to tie it all in?
Yeah, so DEXT is a receipt management software. So it's basically a place where you dump all your invoices and receipts, and then it feeds through to Xero and then through to WonderBuild. So it's got some really cool features inside it, like line item extraction and some AI features that really reduce the data entry. So when it's coming into WonderBuild, half the work's already done. You're just really distributing it through there. Yeah, so tools like that, they really speed up the process. Yeah, and like my bookkeeper now, like I outsource my bookkeeper. Her hours for me are probably down to 1 to 2 hours a week, just because everything's automated AI through those platforms. I'm able to distribute them to the jobs. Really speeds things up. It's efficient.
That's amazing, mate. I suppose it goes back to that one size doesn't necessarily fit all. There's going to be different people out there doing different programs, but I think the tracking and just being efficient, it's all about money and maximizing money. So your business is running profitably. But just to backtrack on something else you said, mate, and that's the pipeline of work. I guess three of us are all more experienced builders and been through it a little bit, where we've grown businesses and so forth. We've spoken recently, I suppose, over the last 12, 18 months with some younger builders in the game. And we probably, maybe except for Tasmania, we're all based on a premium amount and what your turnover is per annum. I know there's a lot of the younger ones out there that are maybe limited to $750,000, $1 million turnover for any given one project. As we know, having a pipeline of work ready so you can keep flowing and keep works moving along.
I need to jump in here for a minute, guys, to thank our sponsors, Backman Builders and Calorie Building. Without the support of these businesses, the Build Insight podcast wouldn't be possible. Take a moment to go and show some support for them so they can continue to support us, bringing you the Build Insight podcast.
How do we think, being in that situation, some tips that we could pass on from our experiences could help out to prepare someone to be organised with their job flow?
Yeah, I think just having a really good scheduling system. So you really need to know what work you got coming up, your total revenue, so you can work out your overheads, what your project margins need to be per year. But yeah, you need to concentrate on filling it. Like, this might be a bit controversial, but you almost need to overbook the flight to a degree. And I don't mean that in a bad way, so take on more work than what you need, but you definitely need enough work there that if things go south, it's not gonna make you make some rash and bad decisions for your business. And at the end of the day, most clients, they're happy to wait a few months for you if they really want to build with you. And the other part to it is generally they're not always ready when they say they are. There's a lot of factors that come into play before homes go to construction, whether that's finance, approvals, planning. You really need to have a lot in your pipeline so you can shuffle stuff around.
Yeah, so mate, a lot of it's out of our control, so you need to have that built up. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people, I know myself, I've been caught out in that before, is you haven't overbooked the flight and then all of a sudden you lose one project and you start to pull your hair out and then potentially you lose two and then you really start to wonder, what are we going to do? So no, it's a really good perspective to have. Mate, the stresses of running a building company, obviously work isn't everything in life. What do you do to unwind, mate? What else is there to Adam outside of building?
Well, I've got my wife and 3 young boys under the age of 6. They keep me pretty busy, but I try to invest a lot of time into them. 4 or 5 years ago would have been investing into mates, going to have a beer, that sort of stuff, playing sport. But yeah, now it's a lot very family centric now. So a lot of my weekends are spent with them, whether that's travel around, seeing family, them going to their sport. That's probably where most of my downtime's soaked up, but I really enjoy it. And I'm really grateful I'm in a position now where I've set my business up where I don't have to miss out on all those things. I can rest my head on the pillow overnight and know that everything's under control because I've got all these systems and all this information at my fingertips that I don't have to stress about it. Yeah, I can spend the time with my kids. Don't get me wrong, there's still the odd Saturdays and nights and arvos where I have to get stuff done. But yeah, that's being able to just switch off on a weekend and go spend time with them.
I think that's a big part of being in business, isn't it, guys? I mean, I know for myself, there's plenty of things that I'll take a step away from work and the business to do something for myself or my family. But what people don't see is the blood, sweat and tears that go on behind the scenes and the late nights, early mornings that we've all been through, and maybe some sleepless nights. That is all part and parcel of running a business. I think that's awesome, mate. What's some things that you're looking to integrate into the business or get some more knowledge on coming up, Adam, over the next year or two, mate, that you got your eye on?
Yeah, I'm always looking to continuously improve. I've just my passive house tradesman's course, so I think that really fits well with me. It's very data-driven and factual, so I think that fits my personality. And yeah, learning a lot more about that. Whether I go into building a passive house, or not sure, but if I can implement the theories and that into my everyday builds and just be building better, I think that's going to be a big push for Veo Building, just to deliver really top quality homes that are healthy and performing well, I think.
It's amazing, mate. And you guys have a lot of, top of my head, driving down the freeway past Goulburn a lot, but you guys have a lot of the canola fields and stuff not too far away. It's a big part of building healthier homes too is just air control. I've got bad hay fever. I don't live near a lot of pollen, but even just the grass seeds and stuff. What a lot of people don't understand about building more of a high performance or a passive house is that you're actually controlling that air so that you're creating a healthier environment for yourself and your clients.
Yeah, and I just really want to educate my clients on it so they're getting a better product, because you got to challenge their thinking sometimes about what they think is important in a home. I think by raising them questions, sometimes you get better results for them. But yeah, we're in climate zone 7 here, so as you would know, that's definitely fits the passive house mold. So you need to be on top of your building wraps and your condensation management and your air tightness in these regions.
I just learned something. I didn't realise you guys were in that climate zone. That's, prime. You've got, the air pollutants and the climate specifics, mate. You're in a prime zone for it.
Yeah, definitely. She could be some harsh winters here. And -10 some mornings, you can't open the trailer door or it's frozen over, and then 40-degree summers. So
yeah,
definitely get the swings.
All right, Adam. So just to put you under the pump to finish off, mate, we've got our 4 quick-fire questions. So quick, no right or wrong answers, no judgment. All right, we ready, mate?
Let's go.
All right, what's the most exciting custom feature you've ever built into a home?
Ooh. Probably
quick.
Yeah, fireplace, probably.
What's one common misconception people have about building custom homes?
They cost too much. They cost too much.
You're halfway, mate. How do you ensure a project stays on schedule and within budget?
Software and data.
Good one. What's the biggest challenge you face when turning a client's vision into a reality?
Budget.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Very good. There was a few there that probably put you on the spot. They probably could have done with some long answers. Maybe we need to rewrite some quick fire questions a bit shorter next time. But no, well done, mate.
We'll have to edit then.
I've got one more quick question for you before we wrap up, mate. This is if you could offer your former self or a younger version of Adam one piece of advice getting into the industry, what would it be?
Definitely reach out and look into some coaching or some platforms that can help educate you. I think that's been the greatest tool. There's so much information out there. Like I said, we're the information era, so just leverage off it. There's a lot of great builders that are willing to share their journeys and tips with people. I know I do it now. I'll even tell some of my competitors what I think. And yeah, it's just, you can get so much information that can help you now. It's not like it was 20 years ago.
That's awesome, mate. As I said, thanks so much for coming on, buddy. I know myself definitely admiring what you're doing, especially with the new venture. It's all looking amazing. So Veo Building Co, I think that's your Instagram handle as well, mate. Do you want to drop where people can reach you on, and even if it is just to ask any questions on things we've spoken about? I know Adam's a pretty open book, so he'll definitely be up for a chat.
Yeah, I love talking all things business and construction. So if there's any builders out there that want to reach out, happy to have a chat, phone call, just DM me on the Veo Building handle, Instagram, or if you're looking to build and you're a client, just head to our website, which is www.veobuilding.com.au, and I've got some inquiry forms there.
Awesome, mate. Buddy, keep smashing it, keep kicking some goals, and we'll be definitely having a chat again down the line, buddy. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Loving what you guys are doing also. It's a great platform that's really helping a lot of builders. So
thanks, mate. There's just some really good people that are doing awesome things. And I know for Luke and myself, mate, we're just enjoying the conversations. Guys, that's a wrap up for another episode of the Build Insight pod. Don't forget, we've got build.insight over on Instagram. We've got a lot of stuff happening there. We've got the website where you can have a look at all of our platforms as well. So thanks for joining us again, guys. And till next time, have a good one.
Let's cue the disclaimer. I need to let you know that myself and the Build Insight team are in no way, shape or form qualified to give you personal or specific business advice. We strongly encourage you seek out the use of professionals for products or when you are making personal or business decisions. Everything discussed during the Build Insight podcast is our own and the guest opinion and personal experience and is of a general nature only. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.